Okay, so here's another video for you guys. I am now a ham operator, according to some people. Um, Yesterday I were at the bunker, basically the local radio groups offices, basically, or QTH, which is in Bardufoss, not very far from the area I was apprentice on. Um, but Yesterday, me and another fellow amateur, we went into the group's location to upgrade the logging software um, as well as the putting in the API key to to the logging software, so it will automatically upload the content there. We did that, and it kind of worked. But we kind of also suspect that there is no subscription model on the account for the group on QRZ, because that's the main platform that we are running the log, which is I'm also running that log, which is working really great, no problem. Um, so all of that is was done, and then we had a little bit more time because it was like 2 o'clock when we were done with the work. And I asked him if we still had some time for some HF searching, as we call it, and we did. And both of us turned all of the radios on and starting to have a little bit fun. He wants to do some CW. He is very weak in his vision, and so for him, CW, that's his main area. He really likes to do that. And I was doing some HF, and I were looking on 80 meter, 160 meters, on 10 meters long, basically all of the bands, 40 meters even. But we haven't looked as much on 20 meter. So what I did was to, and I the time was kind of running out here just a little bit. So I the other few person I went on ham school with, we do communicate on Discord, uh, the classmates there. So I was setting up a questionnaire to anyone from the former classmates, if anyone had time to test on HF, because potentially I could grab my first HF contact, and one of them said yes. His name is Albert, and he lives in Oslo, and he was finding an available frequency because he lives more south. So for me, I do have more available frequencies than he has. So we came to an agreement on the frequency 14.111. Um, that was a available frequency for him, and I could try to listen on that. So I was ramping up the radio on 100 watt, and he was sending up to me 10 watt. So yeah, QRP SDR radio is definitely going to be a radio from HF radio for me in the next half year. Um, on um, I couldn't hear him well because I didn't have tuned up the radio. Uh, but he could hear me tuning on the radio. He was sending me message back on Discord on what he was hearing, and he could hear it, and then I knew we could try to have a conversation there. So basically, as soon as the tuning was done, I talked in the microphone. I had like 15 centimeters away, 10, 15 centimeters away, and he could barely hear me. So he sent in 4.4 on the RST, and I was told by the instructor next to me, because he is sometimes sitting there, so I could learn more about procedures, because I need to be more comfortable with that. And he told me, Tom, just put your microphone very close, like minimum 5 centimeters. And I did. and he could hear me even better. I didn't get a RST on that part, but he told me that he could hear me better. So I heard him on a 5.5, and I heard his call sign, and he heard mine. Um, and with that, I officially had my first HF communication. So I took a picture of that. I didn't take any video because I was a little bit too excited about it. But uh, at the end of the conversation, I took a picture, and we did talk just a little bit because he had to go back to work and he had home office that day. But he did have some time for me, which I really do appreciate. So I took a picture of that, and I know um, it doesn't mean for everyone, but it does mean for me. This is my first HF communication. I never done this before. Technically, it's the second one because the other communication, HF communication, where was with the local group at the National Field Day. I did have an HF there, but that was under guidelines from other people because I had to use someone else, the local radio group's call sign. But this one that I had yesterday, that was with my own call sign. So that was very special to me because that is officially the first HF communication with my call sign. So yeah, so we the time the conversation was 14:36 with Lima Bravo 7 Alpha Juliet. His name is Albert. You can search him up on QRZ. The RST was 55 cent and 44 received on the frequency 14.111, and the date of yesterday, 3rd of March 2023. So this is the radio that I used. It was an ICOM 7200 with an auto tuner on, a manual auto tuner. So you had to click the tune button there to get it to work. The antenna was a Yagi with a rotor on top, and yeah, that was the setup. We we do have we are the group are planning to put a PA step to it. So basically, if everything goes well, you just communicate on 1,000 watt. So that will be interesting. Um, yeah, maybe I could talk to America one day. That would be pretty cool. But anyway, back to yesterday. So the instructor, the person at the examination, when he knew that I passed my test, he made me a logbook. So I decided to put basically all of the HF communication in there, and the other, of course, I'm logging everything to QRZ as well, but this will be HF logbook basically. So yeah, so everything is noted in there. Remarks are first HF conversation, and I also made him a QSL card that I will send him to his mail. He is not a member of NRRL yet, so he's not part of the QSL service. So I'll send it in the mail. I have made a envelope that I will give him. But there is one thing I think we should basically talk about. For a lot of people, when they've been doing communication, they're so used to it basically by now. They are hardened by it. But I was sitting down with a very, very strange feeling during the conversation yesterday and today, basically, when I have to reflect on certain stuff. I made a conversation where, in the moment, I wasn't depending on anyone. I wasn't depending on my phone. I wasn't depending on Facebook, Discord, Snapchat, Instagram, WhatsApp, Telegrams, you name it. That was a very, very special moment for me. Uh, And think about it. Having that conversation where you're told independent from anyone except for the one you're talking to, that is a little bit crazy, actually. I'm not used to that part. So I think, and we are living in a world where a lot of things can happen. I'm not saying that it's going to happen. God forbid, it cannot happen. But having the possibility of communicating with people without being depending on anyone, that we should have more of in this type of world. In every society, there should be at least one ham radio operator. I am that here. Now, well, technically, I have to talk on a local repeater, but still, I can do independent communication. If the local phone nets is going down, I can still communicate out. So that's good. But we are the human race or world is way depending on other people. So that we should start thinking about being more independent. So if we can be ready when things and if only, I'm not saying when, I'm saying if things happen. Because we don't want things to be happen, but we do needs to be ready. That's the rule. So what next on HF for me? Well, I am starting to save up for some HF radio. I'm kinda have decided what radio is, but I do want a radio within the category of QRP SDR. Or yeah, that has a built-in battery or even can be connected to the car battery in the car or with an adapter inside for 13.8 volt. So when I'm getting, and if I'm saving up for a house, and I will I will try to get like a normal radio that's a little bit more expensive and a little bit more powerful. But for now, a QRP SDR is the way for me. I'm quite touched by and of course proud of what happened yesterday. Uh, I really am because I worked hard for that first HF contact. It's been a long way to learn everything. I'm still not learned everything. So now you heard my reflection, my point of views of stuff, and my thoughts. I have basically nothing left to say. So with that, Lima Bravo 6 Quebec Juliet is signing off. Hope you liked the video. Just give a thumbs up or thumbs down, or even subscribe to my channel. It will definitely help in the long run. And with that, I'm saying goodbye, and this frequency is available. Bye bye.